You know, it's a good thing I never decided to become an actor, because I'm trying to commit this tiny bit of information to my brain for this video, and I am failing. And I'm thinking that maybe Marlon Brando had the right idea. Wasn't it him who, in later years, he wore an earpiece and turned his head away from the camera so you couldn't see it, so that he didn't even have to bother to attempt to remember his lines. Someone would just say them to him and he'd repeat it. Is that right? Have I got that right? I think that's a pretty good idea, now that I'm trying to remember this. So I will have to refer to my notes. Yesterday, I went to the downtown Toronto record show, or is it the Toronto Downtown Record Show? I think it's the Toronto Downtown Record Show, which is something I've been going to for years. The last, I think it's 2 years, they have been in a really dreadful location. It's called the Transac Club in the Annex. And I complained last year about this place because it is small and therefore cramped. This year was hot because it was an unseasonably warm day. It was, just all in all, just unpleasant. And the worst part is the lighting, as I mentioned last year, is terrible. There's one corner especially where the vendors had kind of portable lighting shining on the records, and they even had these handheld LED lights that you could use to shine onto the records, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to figure out what's going on. Like, you wouldn't even see scratches. It was so bad. Other people had their cell phones out with the flashlight. It's awful. I don't know why they go here or why they use this venue, because it's just cramped. The Mississauga Etobicoke one that I was at recently was much better because it's a much bigger location, more vendors, it's airy, it's bright, it's just much more pleasant. This is a dismal place. It was $7 entry. You could pay the $20 early access fee, which some people did. I did that last year with a friend of mine, but my days of paying that early fee is ridiculous. It's gone. And finally, if somebody was there at it would be 11:45, so it was only 15 minutes left of the early entry fee, and they paid the $20 to get in for 15 minutes. I don't understand it. Anyway, as I was getting there, I just walked in and I got a message from Jason Skilz, Low Noise Jason Skilz, from Ottawa, who's in Toronto recently, and he asked if I was free. And I said, well, I'm at the record show, but I'm free after. And he said, okay. He was coming in from the West End, and we picked a time and a place to meet. So we decided to meet at Rotate This at, later in the afternoon. So I thought, that's pretty cool. Let's do that. So I shopped around. I'm going to talk about what I got in a different video, but I was remembering afterwards, I completely forgot to take any video of this whole event. So there's going to be no videos of the event, unfortunately. But I did buy a couple things. Anyway, so I met Jason at Rotate This, and we looked around, and yes, I did buy a few things. And that was fun. And then we went for a coffee just down the street. And while we're having coffee, Jason gave me some VCLT in person. So I'm going to tell you about that today, after that really long introduction. So he gave me this record, which is from an outfit, actually a person. Well, she calls herself Loopsel on this record, Loopsel. I knew nothing about this when Jason gave it to me. There is a label, and he told me it was experimental drone, which I really appreciate. I like that style of music. So I'm going to tell you a bit about this. I'm going to have to read my notes, because otherwise I'll never be able to do this justice. So Loopsel, The Spiral, is a record that was first released in 2020. This is a 2022 repress. So the woman behind it is a woman called Elin, E-L-I-N, Engstrom. It's a solo project. Now, she's also, or was also, in the bands Monoculture with a K, and Skafande and Hetter. I didn't pronounce that clearly right, I don't think. From Gothenburg, Sweden. And according to Discogs, the genre is, as mentioned, electronic experimental drone. And the style they apply to this music is abstract, minimal, and experimental. I love all that kind of music. Here is a paragraph from her record label. Her debut album, The Spiral, manifests fragmented pieces of shimmering guitar, organ, and electronics, creating a drifting ambiance that evokes a feeling of distance and mystique. An essential entry of the Gothenburg experimental music scene that never seems to run dry. The Spiral was originally released in 2019 as part of a multimedia spatial installation in Copenhagen, and subsequently reissued on Forlag for Free Music and Mamma's Mysterieke Jukebox. Digital Repress is thrilled to make this record widely available again. Cool, right? So as I mentioned, The the spiral. Loopsel, that's the front. And also, I have terrible lighting today too. Here's the back. And there are 6 tracks on side A and 5 on side B. And they do fit nicely into that sort of ambient, experimental kind of sound. Nice polyline sleeve. Here's one label. Pretty simple, right? Here is the other label. I'm having a hard time getting centered here. So digital repress DR47. I really like this record. It sounds great. I do like that kind of music, that sort of droning, experimental, ambient kind of thing. You know, reminds me a bit of Brian Eno in places. Really good. So I'm happy to have this. So thank you, Jason, for giving me this nice record. Thanks for thinking of me. It was fun hanging out. And as I say, I have, I guess, a video coming up about the record sale and the record store on Sunday, maybe later this week. And as I mentioned, there's one photo we took. Maybe I should put that in here. I'll put it into this video, a photo of Jason and me in front of Rotate This. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.